Welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show. In each episode, it's our goal to help you turn part-time hours into a full-time income selling almost anything on Amazon. And now, your hosts of the show, Stephen and Rebecca Smotherman.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. We are on episode number 248, and today we're going to be talking about 3 things no one else is going to tell you about growing a successful Amazon FBA business. Here with me to talk about that is my co-host and business partner, Stephen Smotherman.
Hey, that's me.
What do you have to say about growing a successful Amazon FBA business that no one else is talking about?
I mean, to be fully honest, we don't know if no one else is actually saying this, but we've not heard it. And we've been doing this for a long time. We've not heard anyone else say these things. And so guess what? We're going to tell you. So get ready on this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show.
I'm sure you've probably seen or heard this before, but when you're trying to learn how to master a new skill that promises to make you money, especially when it comes to a work from home money-making business, you are only going to hear about the amazing benefits of what you can accomplish with that money-making strategy or skill. Like make money from home, get out of debt, save for retirement, pay off your mortgage, and so on. All of these promises. But not many people are going to be sharing with you also some of the possible struggles that you'll face along the way. And yes, here at Full-Time FBA, we want to make sure you know what's possible with actually making a full-time income selling on Amazon, because it is amazing. Mm-hmm. But we also want you to be aware of the possible roadblocks along the way so that you can either completely avoid those as speed bumps, or so you can really minimize the negative impact they might have on your journey to success. So, Stephen, start us off. What's the first thing nobody else will tell you when it comes to growing a successful Amazon FBA business?
So one thing that most other Amazon growth thought leaders or gurus or podcasters or whatever, what they're not going to tell you is this. And it makes sense if you really think about it. With more sales comes more problems. Big E really knew this. He understood it. Mo money, mo problems, right? That was his way of basically saying the same thing. And if you want to experience more sales as you grow your Amazon business, you're also going to have more issues that come up. Some more things that can potentially go wrong, more things that you need to handle. And when things go wrong, you're going to have to deal with that. So the more time you spend dealing with these problems means the less time that you actually have to source for profitable inventory. It's a good problem to have because, yes, you're making more money, you're making more sales, but you are also experiencing more problems. And that's why it's a good idea at some point to hire some help to take care of dealing with some of the more outsourceable activities. Outsourceable is a word, right? If not, it is now. So when hiring help or maybe signing up for a tool to use to help outsource some of this activity, that you want to make sure it's a good trade-off for you, meaning is hiring the help or using the tool actually going to free up your time in such a way that you can actually make more money during that time that's freed up. For example, hiring someone for $15 an hour is only going to be worth it when you're able to use that same hour to make well over $15 an hour. Is it going to be a good trade-off? You need to make sure that you make that decision and make sure it's a positive one.
And another example is that the more we sell on Amazon, the more opportunities we have for items and shipments, or even for whole shipments to go missing. Or there's more chances we'll have stuff that get damaged during transit, or the more likelihood that a customer will leave us negative feedback that actually breaks Amazon's feedback policies and it needs to be removed. In fact, one time a customer left us a 1-star review, which is the worst star rating, 1 star, but the text attached to the review said, "Awesome seller, fast shipping, thank you." So obviously the 1-star feedback was a mistake, but the Amazon feedback algorithm doesn't understand that. So I have to deal with those mistakes myself because my Amazon seller metrics, they depend on it. And the better metrics I have, the more time I get in the buy box, and that leads to faster sales. So either I can deal with the lost inventory or the damaged inventory or do something to correct the feedback rating that comes back 1 star, great seller, or any other number of issues myself, or I can hire a service to take care of it all for me. So we use solutions for e-commerce to help us take care of those so that we can better use our time to source more inventory to sell on Amazon. So if you want more information about solutions for e-commerce, check out fulltimefba.com/account manager. And if you use the coupon code FullTimeFBA, you'll save 15% off your monthly fee for life. Again, the more sales you get, the more money you can make, but the more problems that can come up too. But then when you outsource that solution correctly, then the problems you face won't have that much of a negative impact on your Amazon business. And this is just generally business, that the more money you're making, the more problems that might come up.
More money, more problems.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
my apologies.
Thank you. So what's the second thing that nobody else will tell you when it comes to growing a successful Amazon business, Stephen?
So this is something that almost everyone we've talked to has experienced as an Amazon seller, and that is this. The people in your regular life who don't understand selling on Amazon, they are not going to get it. For an example, in my life, since high school, I've worked at a lot of different jobs. I've worked at like a mailboxes, etc. type shipping store. I've worked at a candy factory. I've had a job helping special needs adults get and keep a job. I've worked as a church youth pastor. I've also worked other jobs sprinkled in here and there. And I now make a full-time income selling on Amazon. And the number one job that brings about the most questions, or sometimes just even blank stares, for showing me people that they really don't get it, is that I'm a full-time Amazon seller. I mean, I get people being like, is that even legal? Are you allowed to sell it for more than you buy it for? I mean, how do you really make money with that? Do you really make money with that? I mean, they just come right out and say that. I'm like, yes. Like, what do you sell? Anything that makes a profit. How do you, I mean, the list goes on and on with how much it's obvious they don't understand what it's like. And the questions keep coming, mostly from people who work like a regular 9-to-5 job who don't understand our drive and our hunger to do the work that we do. You know, it might be family, it might be close friends, but you'll find that as you grow as an Amazon seller and invest more time into more things that you see that drives your growth, not everyone in your inner circle will understand. And that's okay. You might just have to find another way to connect with people. Since most of your work, if you're a full-time Amazon seller, is done at home or on the road, maybe you can find other ways to connect with people in your area. Maybe a shared focus. You can still connect with people, have good friendships grow out of it. Like, for example, I have really good friends I've met at church. I've got some friends I've played softball with. I've got friends I've made occasionally working at a coffee shop locally. And just know that if you usually make friends that are mostly work-related, then when you finally start making that full-time income, leave your 9-to-5, that your method of friend making or friend growing might be a little bit different than before. And that's okay.
Yeah, my favorite of those questions is with close friends and family that you haven't seen for a while is always, are you still doing that?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm making a full-time income from it. Why would I stop?
Yes, and I've been doing it for over a decade. So
right.
Like, yeah.
Longer than you've had your job.
We don't say that part.
Okay, that's the part I think in my head. Okay, this is getting a little bit too touchy here. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I know it's not an in-person friendship, but it's been really cool to hear from Stephen how the members of our Full-Time FBA coaching program have really connected during those coaching calls. And how helpful everyone is to each other is always fun to hear. If you didn't know this, we start out every coaching call with each coaching student on the call sharing the wins that they have experienced since the time of the last call. And everyone on the call gets so excited to hear those wins. And many times the wins lead to some really helpful conversations about how others on that group coaching call can also experience those wins as well.
Yeah, I always love the live coaching calls because basically the vibe on the call is super encouraging and helpful for everyone. So the last thing that we'll talk about today that no one else is going to talk to you about or no one else has in the history of the world. Okay, that's a little, little bit dramatic there. And to be clear, I'm not saying no one says these things, but we just haven't heard it. But it's this, and we just want to make sure you hear it. The road to a full-time income selling on Amazon is going to be a struggle. But those who work hard for it and stick with the process, it is 100% possible to work towards and achieve.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in learning the steps to take in order to make a full-time income selling on Amazon, to overcome those struggles and to be successful, we invite you to our upcoming 5-day Amazon Income Accelerator workshop that kicks off July 22nd. You can sign up for free by going to fulltimefba.com/workshop, and you'll gain access to the 5-day workshop where each day will offer you 60 plus minutes of live training that will focus on what you need to understand and the steps you need to take in order to realistically make a full-time income selling on Amazon. The hour-long workshop sessions will be held in the evening, but don't worry if you can't make the sessions live. There will be a limited time replay where links will be sent to all of those who are signed up for the workshop.
Yeah, and during this 5-day workshop, we are going to let you in on why most people who try to sell on Amazon really have a hard time with it and the pivots that you need to take in order to avoid these struggles and actually find success. We'll show you in the workshop the exact path to take so that you know what to focus on and the processes to commit to in order to make that goal of making a full-time income selling on Amazon. Again, the workshop is free, but it's our goal that this free workshop is going to be light years better than the last Amazon training that you actually paid for. Again, the link to sign up for that, fulltimefba.com/workshop. Plus, want to let you know ahead of time, there's going to be a giveaway for if you are live on all 5 days of the workshop, all 5 days of the call, and you're there live on the call, you're going to be entered into a contest where one of the lucky attenders who's been there all 5 days, they're going to win some pretty cool Amazon resources and tools that are essential to making it easier for you to sell on Amazon and make that full-time income. So again, that's only if you're there live on the calls all 5 days. So be sure to sign up today so you get those links and you get that access so you can win that awesome stuff. fulltimefba.com/workshop. I can't wait to see you in the workshop soon.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. As always, the show notes and any of the links that were mentioned in this episode can be found at fulltimefba.com/248 because this is episode number 248.
And next week on the show, we're going to talk about how to know if you should quit selling on Amazon. Sometimes when you try to work at something, you decide, okay, I quit. How to know if you should make that call to quit selling on Amazon, and maybe how to avoid quitting and find real success. We'll talk about that next week on the Full-Time FBA Show.
I want to focus on the avoid quitting part.
Exactly.
Is that what we're going to focus on, I hope?
Yes, that's what we're going to help people with the most.
Okay, good. Whew.
Yes, guess what? Spoiler alert, it's easy to quit. It's hard to keep going. We're going to help you keep going to find that success. Next week on the Full-Time FBA Show.
That's all for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. So head over to fulltimefba.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes and links from this episode. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter where you'll get several free downloads of our popular and helpful Amazon FBA resources. Now, take action on what you've learned today so you can find success at turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA.